Hi everyone, so recently I made in a live stream this card, which is a multi-faceted pop-up card. I'll put on the screen where I saw the idea. I think it was a mix of, I think I saw it on Kayla Renee's channel, and I think she'd seen it from Tanu Creative, who'd done something similar for a scrapbook sort of layout. But yeah, so this is the 6x6 version. So you open it up, and then you have this wonderful pop-out bit here in the middle. Now, I've had requests for an 8x8 or 7x7 version, so I put it to a poll, and the vote came out that you wanted 8x8. That was the best one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the 8x8 one now, and then if you want the measurements for the 6x6, they will be in the description below. So I'm going to copy and paste those from the live stream. You can go and watch the live stream and see the 6x6 being made, but it's literally the same. It's made the same way as the 8x8. It's just the measurements are slightly different. But to be honest, they're not that. You know, the kind of techniques of how you do it are pretty much the same. So yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so for the 8x8 version, what you're going to need is you're going to need a card blank that is 8x8. So this is an 8x8 card blank already. Obviously, this is quite a large piece of card. So this is, as a whole, 8 by 16 inches. Now, unless you have a piece of card that's 8 by 16 inches, which I suggest that probably a lot of you don't have, I certainly don't have, you can make, if you don't have a card blank, you can make it. You just need one piece that is 8x8, one piece that's 8x8.5, and then just score a 1/2 inch tab and stick one onto the other. So this is my little sample. So if I turn this over, if you can see, I've got like a tab here. So I stuck it on the outside. So then when you open it up, you've got space for your, I've got a tab showing on the inside. So that's what you need first of all. So that can go to one side. Then you need another piece, and this is 7.5 by 8.5. And along the 8.5 edge, you're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 4.25, and at 8. And then what we're going to do is turn it diagonally, and you're going to score from the top of that first score line, which was a tab, down to the bottom of the last score line, which also is your tab. So you're going to go ahead and just score this. If you can't see your lines very well, your score lines, then you can go ahead and burnish and fold them before you do this. And you're going to score all the way across, and then we're going to turn it, and we're going to do the same again. So we're going to go from the top of the right hand score line to the bottom of the left hand score line, and again just make sure it's nicely lined up. So you should end up with that, and I'm hoping you can kind of see my scores. So then we're going to go ahead, fold the tabs to be mountains. And then you want to fold the middle line to be a valley. So you have that. Okay, and then these diagonals need to be mountains, both of them. So you should end up with that. And then what you want to do is just fold that down like that and just give it a burnish. Because sometimes if your diagonals aren't quite in the right place, it can kind of battle with you. Okay, so you end up with that. So now we're going to go ahead and decorate the main card base. So the papers I'm using today on this card are from my new Pansy Petals pack, which this is the 8.5 by 8.5, but the A4 digital kit is now available on DRK Crafts, and it's also available over on in my Ko-fi shop as well. It should be available on Amazon. At the time of recording, it isn't up on Amazon yet. It's been sent off to be published. I'm just waiting for them to approve it. I'm going to put up the little flash on the screen to say it is available on Amazon, because I'm hoping that by the time this goes up, it will be. But yeah, hopefully it will be. So that's the pack we're using. So I've got here some matte card that is 7.75 by 7.75, and some pattern that is 7.5 by 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead, stick that on the front of there like that, and then stick the whole lot on the front of my card. Okay, so once you've done that, you should end up with that there. Then we're going to open this up, and on the inside here, we're going to go ahead and, well, there's two different things you could do. You either stick your mechanism in and then decorate, or you could decorate a bit beforehand. I think I'm going to stick the mechanism in first and then decorate. I've got two pieces that need to go in here, which you don't have to put in, but I would like to. Because I'm on an 8x8 card, I think I'm going to have enough space to get in there and stick them in. So I'm going to do them afterwards. Otherwise I end up with this tab going over the top of my actual panels, and I don't really want to have that. So we're going to go ahead, and on this mechanism here, we're going to go ahead and add some red tape onto the tab, and we're also going to mitre the corners as well. So then we're going to go ahead and take the backing partially off this tab here, fold it under, and then we're going to lay this flat and make sure that our centre line, our centre score line, lines up with the centre line on the back, on the the main card base. And we're also going to make sure that top and bottom the gap is about the same, and you should have a bit of a gap. So I'm just going to shimmy that into position like that. And then we can go ahead and peel that backing off and stick that down. And then we're going to do the same over this side. So we're just going to turn that back on itself and then just stick that whole section down flat. And then we just need to close this up just to make sure, and it closes fine. So that's good. Now, as you can see, trying to fit something in there now is a bit tricky, but you can just pop these out of the way for the moment, and then you can kind of get in there. So that's what I'm going to do, I think. So next off, we need to stick those two pieces in. So these two pieces, the mat measures 3.5 by 7 3/4, and the pattern is 3 1/4 by 7 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead now and just stick those in to that section there. Okay, so once you've stuck those two back pieces in, we now have to deal with these two pieces here. So you're going to need two pieces that are mat pieces that are 4 inches by 7 3/4, and two pattern pieces that are 3 3/4 by 7 1/2. And so they are going to go either side like that. So you should end up with that, hopefully. So now we're going to go ahead, and you don't have to decorate these parts if you don't want to, but I like to because you do kind of see them. So you're going to need one mat piece that is, well, first of all you need one mat piece that's 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, and one pattern piece that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And what we're going to do is we're just literally going to cut both of these in half diagonally to make 2 triangles. And then we're going to go ahead, stick these down onto their corresponding mat triangles, and then stick them into place in the card. Okay, so once you've done that, you want to go ahead next and prepare the squares. So you are going to need 4 base squares that are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then you're going to need 4 mats that are 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and 4 patterns that are 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So we're going to put I've already stuck my patterns onto my mats, so I'm now going to stick these onto all of these squares. Okay, so once you've stuck all your squares down, you need to bring your card back in. And this is another really good reason why if you put this insert in flat, because it does help with this next stage. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and stick our squares down. What we want to do is glue on the actual triangle itself, and then stick the square down. Now when you're sticking your square down, you want to make sure you don't go over this centre fold line, and you also want to make sure you don't go over this sort of centre bit here. You want to, if anything, go a little bit above that. So it's going to be about there, and if you just kind of fold your card, just push it down, get it into place, and then just fold the whole thing flat just to make sure that it's not over that centre crease line. So you should end up with that, hopefully. And then you want to do the one just to the right of it. If you do kind of left and then right, it kind of helps because obviously they share the same centre fold line. So I'm going to add a bit more glue on there. Take our next square, and then again you want to make sure it doesn't go over that crease line, and I would just kind of fold it like this and just kind of shimmy it, because you want to get it as far down into that crease as you can, but obviously when it closes it does kind of push it out a little bit. So just kind of, this is why wet glue is good to use for this bit. If you use red tape you're stuck straight away, whereas with wet glue you've got a bit of time. So hopefully that's your first bit. So then at the bottom we're going to repeat the process again there, and again with this you just want to make sure you're not going over the square that's above it, and you're not going over the halfway line again. So we're going to put that in. If you've got a bit of a gap between the two squares, that's fine. My little square here actually drops below this card level, which is fine as long as it doesn't drop off the bottom of your card. That's the main thing. So the main things really are that it doesn't overlap the one above, it doesn't overlap the score line, and it doesn't drop off the bottom of your card. As long as those things are all good, then you're pretty much fine. So that's that one, and then last but not least we have this square here. So again, just make sure nothing overlaps, and you've got a pretty good guide by this point as to what should be where. Okay, so there we go, there's all your squares in. If you want to and it really bothers you, you can always decorate these reverse parts here, but I'm not that bothered about them, that's fine. So now we just need to go ahead and sort out what we're going to go on the front and also what's going to go on the inside. We're going to sort the inside out first because I'm going to stick it flat. So I'm going to do a big 50 up here, and then I'm going to put a couple of butterflies down here, like that. And then I've got a birthday wishes, which is going to go probably over here, I think. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick all of those down. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stuck those on. I did use silicone glue because I wanted them raised a little bit, but not too much, because it does need to fold flat, so that's fine. I mean, at the moment it's quite, you know, it's quite chunky, but as I said, it will probably be a hand delivered, or because it's a 50th, I don't mind posting it. It will cost a bit in the mail, but whatever. You're only 50 once. And then I've got this happy birthday, which is a die from my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that on. And then I'm not sure, because I feel like it needs something. I might do some gems here maybe. I think that might finish it off. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this down. Okay, so here's the finished card. So on the front, I've kept it quite simple because the pattern's quite busy. Just got to have birthday, and then I've stuck some gems on, and then you open it up and you've got 50, a couple of butterflies, birthday wishes, and then I'm going to write my greeting on the back. And because I've got a white card, I'll probably leave it like that. So yeah, there you go. It might be quite a good one for if you've got a lot of people that need to sign it, because again, you could have maybe panels here for people to sign. You could have also all that on the back to sign. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this card. Don't forget to go and check out my digital kit on DRK Crafts, and also on Ko-fi, in my Ko-fi shop. Hopefully these will be available on Amazon. Also, if you want to go and check out the 6x6 version, you can. I think it was this one that I made in the live stream. This is just another one that I did in a craft class. So it's another option. But yeah, so yeah, don't forget to go and check those out, and don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!